Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow if you're in the left lane. Scooby-Doo-bop-bop-a-deep-a-doop-bop-bop. Surrounded by brilliance. Welcome back to another episode of the Surrounded by Brilliance podcast. I'm your host, creator, founder, all things awesome, all things America. Suck it, Canada. Gold medal, baby. Welcome to the podcast, Surrounded by Brilliance. If it's the first time you're watching, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, or a not so secret, on what this podcast is about. The Surrounded by Brilliance podcast was created to bring together like-minded people who don't get offended by much, who are annoyed by most things. It's a podcast where humor, levity, and some serious discussion will give you a glimpse into the inner working of my brain, a self-proclaimed get-off-my-lawn guy. You'll hear funny stories, interesting opinions, a lot of grumpiness, and a whole lot more from some interesting people and some really boring people. Luckily, our guest today falls in the first category as interesting. Our guest today is Shane Gallmeier. Shane is a son, a brother, a husband, a father of three, a dog dad, a patriot, America, and he's colorblind. Additionally, Shane was an elite 3-sport bench warmer in high school, a 2-sport college intramural champion. He's an average golfer, folks, yet ironically, he is a golf coach. Other hobbies include Shane's enthusiasm for bourbon, his desire for grilling, which is why he refers to himself as the grill master. He's a self-proclaimed sit-down comedian. You get it? That's why he's a sit-down comedian. One other fun fact, Shane is very skilled at shooting certain weaponry and was once a sniper in a previous career. That's all I'm going to say about that right now, because Shane might have to snipe you. So anyways, that's our guest, Shane Gallmeier. What is up, man?
Not much. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I am good. Well, you know what? I'm not good. I'm fucking great, because the USA kicked Canada's ass. Well, okay, it was 2-1, but we beat Canada in the men's gold medal hockey championship in the Olympics, as well as the women's. So again, I'll say it again, Canada, you can fucking suck it.
After taking a stick to the face too, how was that?
My gosh. Well, yeah, and here's the thing too. Look, it was a hard-fought game. The USA won. And you have all these Canadian people out here making these fucking excuses. Sorry, I'm cursing a lot. Actually, I'm not sorry. It's my podcast. I can do what I want. But I'm cursing a lot because I'm so fired up. These Canadians are out there saying, well, 3-on-3, it's not real hockey. You didn't have a problem playing 3-on-3 hockey in the semifinals when you had to win to advance in overtime. And guess what? All this bullshit about, well, you can decide who the better team is. Yeah, I already know who the better team is. The gold medal winners, right? None of this bull crap where, well, they play better and tougher the whole game. The U.S. Look, the only people who ever use the phrase, well, the better team, we were the better team, is the fucking team that loses. Okay? You don't ever hear a winning team say, yeah, we won, but we weren't the better team. Like, we don't want these gold medals. Let them have it. Come on.
Winners take the prom queen home.
Yeah. well, yeah. They don't take the prom queen home. You're misquoting the quote, but you're obviously not going to curse. I'm not going to finish the quote for you, but I know the quote. We know it. So what's up, man? Like, what's going on with you?
Nothing. Just I'm working a lot. I really wanted to get the bar done this winter. That hasn't happened at all, but that was high on my list of things to do. But other than that, I don't know. I'm just waiting on spring to come. I feel like we kind of got rage baited last week with the weather, and then we get slapped in the face again this week with a. It was gross out today.
Oh man, Shane's in Ohio. We'll leave it at that. I'm in Michigan. Look, man, I have seen in the last 3.5 months, I've seen my grass for probably a total of 8 days.
And 7 of them were last week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like five of them were
Yeah.
because it snowed 3 days. It started snowing Friday night, and yeah,
But you get that
can't see
lake
the
effect
grass
too,
anymore.
don't you?
We do.
Yeah.
So that's the big one. I mean, obviously we got hit hard with those snowstorms, but we're constantly getting lake effect. So I mean, even when they say, "Oh, it's not going to snow," when the weather man or woman predicts no snow, or we're still probably going to get 2.5, 3 inches of lake effect. So,
And that's a lot, right?
yeah, that's decent. But I mean, you get used to it. So, but so you didn't get a bar put together. Is that in your basement? You were gonna put
Yeah.
you're putting
Yeah.
want to put a bar up?
Yeah, I had like bourbon all over the place. And then like the basement was being used for other stuff. Like the yeah, like Sis's workout center and uh I don't know. They just had all kinds of projects down here. And then yeah, and then Brenda was like, "Hey, can we get them out of the cupboard and off the top of the fridge and in this pantry over here?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, we can. I'm gonna build a bar." And they were like, "Yeah, build a bar." So she was on board. I was ready, and yeah, nothing's really happened since then. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know someone you can get to help you, which is a great transition into. I like to ask my guests, how do we know each other? Obviously, we know, but for
yeah,
those listening or watching, how do
yes.
we know each other?
So my brother Travis married your sister Christy. Um,
Yes.
I don't know before that. I mean that we. I used to shop at yeah.
Flower Fort.
No, no, I was thinking I jumped to another family. But I guess before,
Yeah.
yeah, before Trav married Christy, like, I
Wrong
mean, we
family.
used to watch you on Friday and Saturday nights when we'd go out to games and stuff. I knew who you were, but there's no way like that we knew each other before they got married. But yeah, since then, man, I don't know. I've laughed a lot around you, and it's
Ditto.
fun to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a lot of fun. And of course you would know who I was. I mean, look at me. Why would you not know? Um, but yeah, well, the real answer is when you live in a small town, where we're from, everybody has at least heard of everybody and probably at least seen them because, I mean, it's not hard.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if
So,
you follow sports at all, I mean, you football field and everything else, and then you went to Tri-State, and my grandparents had a. I mean, you probably knew that, but my grandparents had a
yeah,
cottage on
you had a
Crooked Lake,
Lake
so
James or
there's a little
Crooked Lake.
connection
Yeah.
there. But
That's right. Yeah. You should have convinced the family to keep that in the family and you could have sold it.
nobody's really interested when I don't know if they all were going in different directions. And yeah,
You
grandma and
think it was
grandpa
a
was
generational thing though? Like let me ask you this. Let's say that they were like, "Hey, we want to sell this." But let's say that Shane was in his mid to late 20s and you're like, "Huh, I think I'd maybe like to own this. Hey Travis, you want to go in on this? Hey Kyle, you want to go,
yeah,
I mean, is that something you think you'd have considered?"
yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I mean, I would have considered it. Like if we were sitting like like we're okay now if we were sitting there, but then we had. I mean, when they sold it, we had two little kids and a third one on the way, and like there it just
Yeah.
wasn't in the
Well,
cards when they sold it. But
but
yeah,
my scenario timing was terrible. So,
yeah,
but anyways, yes, that's there. There's the connection. Your brother, we're from the same town. It's Delphus. I don't know why I'm being so. Uh, I'm hiding it. Yes, we're from the original D town,
yeah.
Delphus. So where champions are born. But yeah, that's how we know each other. And we're probably going to talk about Travis a little bit on this podcast. I mean, when I say talk, we're going to make fun of him.
Not too hard.
Is he there?
No, no.
Oh, but no, pretty like not. I mean, just normal.
Yeah.
So, because he has been invited to be on this podcast multiple times, but for whatever reason, yeah. I mean, we know he loves to talk, so I don't understand why he wouldn't want to come on here. But nonetheless,
yeah.
So, when we talk about, like, one of the things we do on this podcast is we like to actually, let me take a step back. You mentioned that you used to be a sniper. Now, we don't have to get into the details, but like how, like, did you train a lot for that? Was it part of that particular career at that time, without saying the who, what, and when? But like, is it something you had a desire to do and you went after it, or?
Yeah, I was. Well, let's start out saying that, like, we're not making it out to be like I'm some SEAL Team 6 guy or anything like that, some tier 1 operator.
No, it's a situation where you'd prefer not to name the place, which
yeah, those of you that know
respect.
me know where I work, but we have policies in place about social media and different stuff.
Understood.
So I can't say where, but I was on a tactical team, probably, let's see, 06 to 11, so probably 5 years into it. They were taking like applications for snipers, and they were like, "Hey, can you math okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And they were like,
"Yeah,
you ever shot a scope rifle?" I said, "Nope, never in my life." And they were like, "We can teach you, but being able to do math is a big part of it." So I was like, I'll give it a try. So it was a 3-week course. It was a great course. I learned a lot. Taught by people that probably forgot more about shooting than that I'll ever know, but it was eye-opening. And then I was on until just this past October. I stepped off. So
okay.
yeah,
I was gonna say, like
14 years or so. Yeah, 15. So yeah, it was it was a lot of fun. I met a lot of neat people, took some really neat classes, and made some good friendships along the way. That kind of like your football guys. So we still have a side chat, and we still talk, and still try and get together every now and then. They do. I mean, there's long range competitions all over the place, and you just pay your $20 and you go shoot the course of fire. And if you did good, great. And if not, then we'll see you in a couple months. But you get to
have you been doing those? Have you been doing those?
Those guys. Yeah. I mean, they'll shoot I think the long range 22 matches. I mean, they build all their own stuff, and they've got a 22 round that'll reach out hundreds of yards, and it's ridiculous I don't know, the stuff that they have generally. I mean, they're built, they're making their own bullets, they're making their own guns, they're like those guys
are the hardcore guys.
Those guys are, that's a whole nother level. But
they've got gallons and gallons of peaches and MREs in their basement.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just to give you an idea of I don't know if those guys do that. I'm just being funny.
Yeah.
Because but I bet those guys like you have a ton of stories, which is cool. And it's stuff that we can't. I'm not going to ask you about. Yeah. But I think it's cool. And the ironic part is this, the very first. And I know you're not correct me if I'm wrong. You're not a hunter, correct?
One time. We can talk about that if you want.
Let's talk about it.
Okay. So, when I, probably about 4 or 5 years into that whole sniper chapter of my life, I had never hunted before that. My dad didn't hunt. I didn't have uncles that hunted. I had a couple friends that hunted, but it didn't really interest me at the time. And, but now one of my good friends, hunts. So, like I said, this was maybe 18 or so. And I was like, God, I've never ever pulled the trigger on anything alive. Like I don't want to get in the position where like, yeah, okay, this is what we're doing, and then I go, God, I can't do it. Like I can't
Yeah.
kill this guy. So so I talked to my buddy, and I was like, hey, what do I have to do to get a hunting license? Like I'd like to come out with you a couple times. And he was like, oh no, it's cool. You like get an apprenticeship license. You come out with me because I'm a licensed hunter. I have to be within so many feet of you, whatever, whatever. He told me all the rules, and I said, all right. So I got
Hmm.
an apprentice license. I had a shotgun, so we took that out. And the first year I went out, 5 days sitting in miserable weather, like raining and blowing sideways, didn't see anything for 5 days. We just, like, I didn't, nothing other than squirrels, like, are the loudest animal when you're deer hunting. Like, when they're crunching the leaves, I was like, I don't know what's behind me, but this has got to be the biggest deer I'm ever going to see in my life. Like, I don't know what's that Boone and Crockett? Is that what that magazine is,
Yeah. Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, they have the system to measure,
Yeah, yeah.
how big the rack
And then
is.
it's a
Yeah.
little squirrel throwing a acorn at you, and yeah. So year two we went out, and he was like, hey, it's just unlucky. Year two we go out, nothing. 5 days of nothing, raining, sleeting, sitting in a stand, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give this one more year, and then that's gonna be about it. Year three we go out. The first 4 days I got nothing. And then the fifth day, one of the guys that was in like our group was kind of pushing the woods, and a deer
Hmm.
jumps up, and he was like, Gallmeier, on your left. And I was like, oh. So I spin around. I was like, oh, yeah, right there it is. And he's like, shoot it. And I was like, okay. So it was like me in the stand, and then a river maybe, I don't know, 50 yards away. And then he was on the other side of the river. And he was like, shoot it. And I was like, okay. Shoulder the weapon, shoot it. And it jumped up, and then it kind of sat down like a dog, like on all fours. And I was like, okay, nobody told me what a deer would do if you hit it. Like, did I hit it? I don't know if I hit it or not. And he was like, hey, get out of the stand and come down and walk up to this side of the river and shoot it again. And I was like, okay. So I get out of the stand, I'm walking towards it, and it's just looking at me. And I was like, what are we doing?
You got feelings,
Yeah,
didn't you?
no, I
You
was like,
got feelings.
I don't know. Like, did I hit it? Did I not hit it? I don't see blood anywhere, but so he was like, shoot it again. And it was like a little button buck. And I was like, okay. So I was like, hey, is this a headshot? He was like, I don't give a shit. Just shoot it. And I was
This
like, all
is
right.
a
So I
headshot.
did the classic, what I've heard all the stories about, like the lung, heart, lung. So I shot it there, and it jumped up and jumped down in the river. And he was like, shoot it again. And I was like, okay. So I shot at it
Yeah.
as it was running through the river. And then I shot one. Because I reloaded when I got out of the stand, walk in there. So I had three in it. So I shot it, jumped up, jumped in the river, shot at it, and then shot at it again. And I think it drowned itself at that point because it was tired of getting shot at. So So it did die. I did kill it. When we took it home and skinned it up and boned it and everything, I had hit it 3 out of the 4 times. I don't know which one I missed. I'm not sure. But I did hit it 3 out of the 4 times and wrecked a ton of meat by just shooting it all over the place. Yeah. I got its skull, like, I don't even know what that was called, like a European mount or something. I don't know. They boiled everything off of it. It looks like an old.
Oh, like it's just like a skeleton,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's on a little,
Yeah.
like on a little plaque hanging in the
That's cool.
garage. Yeah, those were my hunting days.
No, that's cool. Look, I have actually never deer hunted. I've been wanting to, but up here I don't know anybody to where I can go, and I don't want to go. I mean, you can go on public land, but like having never done it before. But that's why, like, and your brother has done this, and that's why I think you'd actually like it. We try to bird hunt a
Yeah, the
ton as much
pheasants.
as we can. Yeah,
Yeah, Maybe next
I
time.
think you would like that because you don't have to sit out there. I mean, you're at least walking, you're getting some exercise, you're shooting the shit. But yeah, you should because your brother. Funny story. The very first time that Travis went, man, it's probably been 6 years. I don't know. It's been a while. The very first time, but he was very cautious at first, which you would be, and and you can't. It's like hard to try and set someone up to get a pheasant. You just have to. But we're like, look, just start, just firing some rounds. Just start firing some. You see something, get your gun up and shoot at it. Who cares if
Stay
you?
in your lane. This is your firing lane. Don't swing. Don't
So
Dick
it was,
Cheney me and come over here. Okay?
yeah, like here's your lane. Your stops here,
Yeah.
here. So you have this field of
This
vision.
is your AOR.
But he ended up getting. So it was like towards the end, and there was a pheasant flew up in the middle, and it went to the right, and he was he was at the end of the gun line, and everyone else had taken some shots and had missed. Some guys were out of range, some guys were just terrible shots, and he, you know, very stiffly held the gun up because he's like still trying to figure it out, and he shot it, and then you saw it go down right away. I'm like, oh, and we're like, yeah, you got it. He's like, how do we know? I'm like, that was you, trust me. So he I was like, okay, now you got to go pick it up because at this point he hadn't even touched a dead pheasant. So he walks over there and he does one of these. He looks down at it and he looks up at all of us and he's like, it's still moving. I'm like, yeah, you got to pick it up, grab it by the neck, and ring it so you can put it out of its misery. Like, put it out. So he goes, so he grabs them and try and find something. So he picks it up and he's holding it like this. And, and he's like, it's blinking. And we're like, wring its neck. But he's just like holding it, arm extended. And he's like, oh. But so he did it. And now obviously he's went many times. And I know that he enjoys it.
He does. He
But
talks
I think
about it
you do.
leading up to it, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I always get a call or a text or a FaceTime like a day or two before. Hey, is this the right shell? It's a for 12 gauge.
Bird
What
shot.
shot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, yep. And then the one time he brought like a bunch of 20 gauge stuff. I'm like, yeah. I mean, we have a 20 gauge, but I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll take this. And I've got some 12 gauge stuff you can use. But anyways, we have fun.
You just shoot 7.5 as bird shot.
You can. I like to use 6-shot, but you can use 7, 7.5, 8. I mean, if you start using that 7, 7.5, you get up there. You should at least pepper it.
Yeah, for sure.
Close, like if you're within range, but
yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
boy,
no double aught in your pouch.
No. It's funny. The very first time that Brandon Hain, we bird hunt a lot. He bird hunts a lot as well with us. And the very first time I went to his place and I showed up because we were traveling to his place in Ohio, and then we were going to go to a place there, and I said the morning of, like, I had my concealed carry and I got it out. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to put this on because this is what, I'm going to carry this because this is what we use to finish them. And I had never pheasant hunted with him up to this point. And he looked at me and he's like, are you serious? Is that what you do? I'm like, yeah, you just you're probably just going to pepper it with these shotguns and then point blank, boom. And he's like, he had a few choice words. He's like, what the is wrong with you? Really? I'm like, no, Brandon, I don't do that. And we all had a laugh.
I make him get down on their knees and look away. Shkaboom!
This was a very evil pheasant.
Yeah,
trust me, it
deserved it.
So, well, that's an interesting story. Let me transition here because we do talk about some grumpy stuff on this podcast. That was the whole derivation of this podcast is this list that I've been creating over the years of things that, I stop and I look and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Or why are you saying this? Or why are you doing something that almost everyone else knows you shouldn't be doing? Just so I put this list in my phone and I started to call them these get off my lawn type scenarios. So before I ask you to share yours, I'm going to first ask you, what is that phrase, just the phrase, when you hear the phrase get off my lawn, what is that phrase in and of itself? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean the first things I think of are, yeah, like I can't be this much smarter than as many dumb people are out here. Like I've like
You are.
like
You are.
sometimes I sit by the phone and wait for Mensa to call. They've never called, but I'm like, man, there's some idiots out here. Yeah, that's what it means to me. That my dog sometimes when you whistle a certain tune, you get
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
side dog
Like,
head. Like
yeah.
I feel like that's the look I'm getting. I don't know.
No, I love that explanation because the part where you said when you think you're like I don't believe I obviously my memory is not that good because you just said it, but basically you're not as smart. There's no way I'm this much smarter than all these people,
No way.
but you are. That's that's the thing. You have common sense. People who have common sense, I think, are just naturally that much smarter than the rest of society because people just don't use common sense. So love the explanation.
But if common sense were common, then we'd all have it.
Bing bang boom. You are a wise man, my friend. So so let's just get to it. What's your get off my lawn scenario? That scenario that you kind of makes you feel just the way you mentioned.
Yeah.
So what's your situation?
So what, a week or two ago when we started talking about like this in this episode, I refreshed myself with a couple episodes, and then I was driving to work the next morning, 4-lane highway, and two semis driving 65 miles an hour for a long extended stretch side by side, and I was getting a little road ragey, and I went, oh, yep, this is what I'm going to say. I already know this is where that should go. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's there's a lot of car related get off my lawn scenarios. And quite frankly, it connects to some of the stuff you just said. I mean, there's people that just probably shouldn't be able to get a driver's license.
Yeah.
You can still get a state ID. Okay, you can get that because you need it to vote.
You have to go the extra step.
Okay.
You have to go the extra step to get
Yeah.
the driver's license.
Or, yeah, you have to actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or when you go in and renew it, you have to do the maneuverability again. How about that? And use your turn signals appropriately when you're doing the maneuverability.
Well, I don't even necessarily think it's about the cars. I think it just goes back to people are stupid.
Yeah.
It's really what it is.
Does the turn signal thing annoy you though? Like if they're in front of you,
It does.
just putting on their brakes,
Turn
and then at the
signal.
last second they turn, and you go, oh, yeah. That's what they put those on the car
Yeah.
for, so you can let other people know what you're doing.
Yeah, we have a couple. If we're trying to go to town, there's a couple roundabouts that we have to go through. Which, if you're going through a roundabout for the very first time, okay, I can understand it. But once you've been through it 3 times, 2, 3 times, you're like, okay, I understand how this works. But there are some people who are just clueless, and you're just like, what are you doing?
What was
So-
that? Was that European Vacation when they just kept going around? Look, kids, big man in Parliament.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie all the way through.
Oh,
I know.
okay, that's all right.
I know. What are you gonna do? You know, because we don't want people to think that we're just on this podcast to be negative and talk about the things that annoy us, even though you have every right to say that one because it happens all the time and is annoying when these semis think they own the road. But then you got the guys who drive truck and are like, if you didn't have these semis, you wouldn't have any of that. You wouldn't have clothes and you wouldn't have food.
Yeah, there might
You
be.
should thank us.
Yeah, all right, go ahead. the positive.
Well, no, look. So I use that voice, and if anyone listening or watching is a semi truck driver, let me finish. Because you do say stuff like that, and you're right. Without truckers, the the distribution of the things that we need to live, we wouldn't have. But that doesn't give you a free pass to do what Shane's example: drive side by side on a major highway. Get your ass over, plain and simple. So, anyways, Shane, go ahead.
Yeah.
Make it a positive. What positive can you take from this?
So I don't always drive the speed limit. Uh, I mean, I don't. I've had one speeding ticket, maybe two, my whole life. So, two. I've had two. I've had two speeding tickets. But I mean, I'm a 5 to 8 over guy. Like that's usually where I live. So if it's 70, I'm going
Sure.
75 to 78. I don't nothing crazy, but maybe them keeping me back, or maybe there's a speed trap up ahead that I don't see or know about, and I don't get that ticket, or the whole ripple effect. If I'm flying down the road and there's
Okay.
a
Yeah.
potential accident.
They
Yeah.
prevented you from, yeah. All right, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, I see it. I see it. All right. I'm gonna share my get off my lawn now. Um and here's the thing. Of late, I've been making my get off my lawns not so grumpy, but very black and white, to where I'm trying to unite a country here with my get off my lawns, in that some sometimes they're left to interpretation and how people feel about it, and it's easy to be like, well, Josh is just being grumpy. So the last couple times, I've been making them very, you have to agree if you have common sense, or if you're a human, because it's so glaringly wrong. So I'm going to stick with that methodology here. It's not sexy, but it is, or controversial, because people are going to be like, yeah, duh, Josh. But my get off my lawn scenario today is people who don't take care of their pets. Right. So I like to think that I'm a pretty tough guy. I can be tough, but I can be sympathetic. And nothing like pulls at my heartstrings more than when you see like a stray animal who, like, somebody just didn't take care of it,
You want me to play in
and
the arms of an
like,
angel behind me?
and you're thinking, so well, but there's a story behind this. So people that just don't take care of their pets, or they abuse them, those people, they can get fucked, because they're just shitty people. They are just shitty people. I understand circumstances happen and people have to take their dog to the pound. I get that, but I'm talking about people who abuse their animals, or
They got three of
they
them,
get out,
three of them tied up in the backyard.
yeah,
Oh,
or they just let them. That, like, oh yeah, or they, cats are loose. I'm not even a cat guy, but cats are just everywhere, and they're like, sure, we don't care. Or these people that put animals in bags and take them off and throw on the side of the road, like those people, like, they're the worst of the worst. So the story behind this is this: we live off of a dirt road, so you always see some cats, or there's obviously a ton of wildlife. And on Saturday night, when I was coming home, it was probably 9:30 or so. I was coming home from a hockey game, and there was a cat in the middle of the road. And normally I just beat, it runs off, because out there there's cats, like they're stray cats that are, they can survive. So this thing stayed in the middle of the road, and something said, "All right, Josh, get out and just go check on it." So I said, "All right, I'm going to get out, and it'll probably run off, because most of those stray cats don't want anything to do with humans." So I get out, and this thing runs up to me, and it instantly starts rubbing up on me and purring and being almost like a pet, like it's like what you would, like a family pet,
domesticated.
domesticated. But then I start looking at it; its claws are long, and I'm pretty certain I'd seen this cat in that area a couple months ago, like right when winter was starting. So I was like, I think this cat's been out here a while, because there's also another cat that I see up and down right by our house. So for whatever reason, I'm like, I can't I can't let this cat out here, because I mean, So I pick it up. I put it in my truck, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this when I get home. And Tony's out of town, so I get home, and I'm like, all right, this cat has been outside. It can survive a night in our pole barn. So I put it in the pole barn. I fashion out a little. I get a cardboard box. I put a couple towels in it because our pole barn is not heated
Sure.
and it's still
Still cold.
cold. So I do that. I give it some food, and it was really hungry. You can tell it had not eaten for a while, but it's just being so loving and sweet and kind. And I'm like, okay, I got to find this. I got to do something about this. So I I've done all this. I've put stuff out on the internet, social media, going to these different websites. Are you missing this cat? I'm not getting any hits. I took it today to see if it's gotten a chip, no chip, and they think that it's coming up on a year old, maybe. So, but this thing, subsequently, I'm like, well, I might have this cat for a couple more days. It's getting cold out here, so I went on to Amazon and I bought one of. They have they're lifted, and it's essentially a hut that's insulated with a. You see where this is going
That's so
with
great.
a heating pad on it. So I'm like, okay, now I feel better because I know that at least at night or whenever this cat wants to, it can go in here and it'll get warm while I'm trying to figure out where its home is. And Tony and I have joked around before about, yeah, we need a pole barn cat. Well, it's starting to look like we're
You,
gonna have a pole barn
you found one.
cat.
Yeah. Is that the positive of the
Yeah,
whole thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was the positive is well
Some shitty owner got you a pole barn cat.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
now you're,
well, just the positive. I guess think the positive is probably more so that normally 9 out of 10 times I would beep, let it run off, and not care because if you start to care about every single stray cat, you probably start to run into some problems.
this one found
But
its forever
so
home,
anyway,
though.
yeah, maybe it's not 100% decided yet because Tony's like, what should we name it? I'm like,
No,
no,
not yet.
let's wait a few more days and we'll see if somebody claims it, which they're probably not going to. But I'm like, obviously, it's not coming in the house. It can't come in the house because we have two cats already, and we've got Jack, the awesomest dog ever. So that's my get off my lawn. Which maybe if you're listening to this, it pulled at your heartstrings, and you're like, you know what, Josh isn't such an asshole. He does care about things that people should care about. So
Do you have a mouse problem in the pole barn?
there's some mice out there, but I've been combating it pretty fairly. There's stuff that you don't want it to get into, and then it's kind of like, okay, they're going to be in here, but I got these pouches that the smell is like minty or whatever. It's supposed to scare them away. I'm like, it's better than that. Probably a pole barn cat.
It's kind of tough to teach a house cat to be a jungle cat, though, isn't it? Like hunt for your own
Well,
food and
this is because I'm pretty certain I've seen this cat out there for the last couple. I've seen it before.
yeah.
It's got survival
Okay.
skills. So, and its claws are long. They're long enough, and it was so hungry when I got it in my truck. I had a sandwich that was wrapped in aluminum foil sitting in between on the console. It jumped up there within half a second, sniffed it out, and had went and bit through the aluminum foil. I was like, "Oh, damn, this thing is hungry." And
Guess I'm not
and
eating that.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I didn't let it eat it either, but so it can survive out there. I mean, it. The funny thing is, and I'm spending a lot of time on this cat, like way too much time talking about this cat on this podcast, but now I've got to tell the story. So when it kept jumping out because I have it in a cage, I have it caged off because I'm like, I don't want it just roaming everywhere right now, but it's enough room where it can eat, hang out, and then there's a bed. And then when I got this new heated bed, in between that time, it had gotten out a couple times, so I had to put stuff over the top. Well, finally, and normally when I would open the door, it would instantly be like out there, excited to see me. This morning I went out there because I go out in the morning and I go out at night and I feed it. And I went out there this morning, nowhere to be found. It's just snoozing in that heated cat house. Like it's like, you know what? I've been struggling for months, freezing at night, trying to find food. And now this guy's giving me food. I got water, and this is a freaking sweet ass warm bed. I'm going to just live it up. So I sent Tony a video of it, and she's like, so are we keeping it?
So we got Pete the pole barn cat.
No, not Pete. We're not no names yet. That's when it's for sure.
That's when you get too attached.
So this is where we do some rapid fire questions. But before we do that, rapid yet not so rapid fire questions, I meant to ask you this earlier because I think that there might be a funny story behind it that if you're comfortable telling. But you mentioned in your bio, you say you're a patriot. And, when I think of a patriot, I think of, obviously you're proud of your country. You're proud of our military. You're the type of guy who, when you're at a sporting event, or maybe even if you're watching a sport event on TV and they do the national anthem, even if you're not there, you take your hat off, maybe even you stand up. And then I think you might have a funny story about that.
I do.
That relates to someone we both know.
Yeah.
Is that a story you'd like to share?
I will share. Is he a subscriber?
He might listen, but he's not going to. I remember him laughing about it.
Yeah, we laughed about it afterwards. He took his jabs at me afterwards, so I think I think it's good.
So I'll set the stage real quick. It's my person you're going to be talking about is my former brother-in-law, Sean. Oh.
Yeah. So this was, I don't know. Trav and Chris. So Sean and Jody were dating. They weren't married yet.
This has maybe been close to 20 years.
Sure.
No.
Sure. I'll buy that.
Yeah, let's say that.
So we'll just say 20 years ago. St. John's. They were either playing Coldwater or Marion Local out at the park. Football.
Friday night football. High school football.
And Trav was like, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Look, I don't mind going, but I'm not going to go an hour and a half early to sit in the cold and wait." And that's how early you're going to have to go to get a seat.
Oh yeah.
I said, "But if you want to go later, I'll stand in the end zone with you or whatever, but I'm not going out an hour and a half early." And he was like, "No, it's cool." His parents are going to go out and lay blankets out and stuff and reserve seats. And I'll just tell them you're coming with me to hold on to another one. And I was like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good. We'll go then." So we go out to the game. We get out there. All of your family was there. And then that might have been the first time I ever met Jody. And this is Jody's boyfriend. And they were sitting a couple rows in front of us. And I was like, "Okay, cool. So nice to meet everybody." So they're like, "Hey, please stand. Gentlemen, remove your hats. The VFW is going to be posting the colors and whatever." So we all stand and we look down at the end zone and, they're walking across. And as I'm panning across them, I look down and this dude's just sitting there. And he's like with us. And I was like, "Well, that's weird." Like I thought, okay, well, maybe we'll give him another chance at the national anthem here, but I don't know if I like this already. So they raised the colors and everything else. And I looked down, he's still sitting there. And he said, and they were like, "All right, gentlemen, please rise, remove your caps. We're singing the national anthem." So they start, and the whole time I'm like, this guy. this guy. What are we doing? So it's burning me a little bit.
You're just starting to keep getting more pissed off about it.
I'm stewing. And I should also say that we were 7 or 8 rows up into the stands. It's not like we were anywhere else. That might come in later in the story. So I was like, "Man, what is going on with this guy?" So whatever, national anthem's over, everybody's clapping. He clapped. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, now I'm kind of confused what's going on." So they go and do their thing, and the game goes on and whatever. And they were like, "Hey, let's go out to the Eagles afterwards." And I was like, "I'm always down for a beer. I'm good for that. Let's go to the Eagles." So it was Trav, Christy, me. I don't know if my wife came. And then there were a couple other people. I don't know. But at one point, me and Trav and Christy were sitting there. And I was like, "Christy, that guy that was with your sister, Jody, who was that guy?" And they were like, "Oh, that's Sean. That's her boyfriend." And I said, "Oh, okay, okay." Was he born in America or like what's up with that? And she was like, yeah, yeah, he was born in America." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." I was just checking. Did he like denounce his citizenship or anything? Or and she was like, "No, no, he didn't. I don't think so." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I was just curious. Yeah, who's he cheering for in the war? Just curious. Like what are we doing?" And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Those old dudes marched those colors across the field and hung them so we could sing national anthem. He didn't stand up once, and it kind of bothers me." And she was like, "Yeah, he's wheelchair bound for life, Shane. I don't." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah." Nobody told me that part. So check, please. Trav sat there and listened to the whole damn thing and didn't cut me off once. So I'm probably still a little perturbed about that. If you know I'm going down that road, just hit the pause button for me. A couple beers in, I start to get a little outspoken, maybe, about grievances. And, but yeah, so then Trav was like, a couple days later, Trav was like, "Shane, I want you to know that was hilarious watching you do that." And I was like, "Yeah, why didn't you tell me that he was like, whatever?" And he was like, "Oh, it's cool. I told him all about it, and he thinks it's hilarious too." And I was like,
Exactly.
"Hold on, you
Yes.
told Sean?" And I was like, "Why would you do
Oh,
that?"
and again, I think he called me and told me about it. I got to tell you the story. Listen to what my brother did. For if you're listening at home, you're watching. Shane just brought up a very good point. He is not. He doesn't. He isn't against disabled people.
Not at
He
all.
didn't know. Not at all. Not at all. So, and Sean, who was in the wheelchair, he thought it was hilarious. Like that, we got to make sure you have context. Even though I shouldn't have to explain
And
this,
they were
but
8 rows up,
um,
so there's no way I could have
yeah,
known he was in a wheelchair. Like,
yeah. But I heard that story within a couple days because I could we Travis and I would always razz Sean about stuff, and he was a good sport, and he would give it back too. And it's no surprise to me that he thought that that was funny.
he
So,
did,
uh,
and then he was. I don't know. We were down.
yeah.
We were down. We were all down at Trav's house for the next birthday party or whatever it was down there for, and yeah, Sean was like, "Yeah, I don't know." Trav was like, "Hey Shane, you wanna run down to the gas station and grab some beer? We're almost out of beer." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll run down there." And then Sean would be like, "Sure wish I could run." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I see where
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is going."
Oh, touche.
Yeah, so he got me
Oh, good.
a good couple times after that.
Yeah, it's a funny story. So I'm glad that you're willing to tell it. And Sean, if you're listening to this, I know that you're a good sport and that you were funny. You thought that that was funny too. Awesome. So we're going to do some rapid yet not so rapid fire questions. Some of these are going to be thought provoking. Some of them are just going to be ridiculous. First question, Shane. Zombie apocalypse happens. How long do you think you personally survive?
Whoosh. I want you to know if 2 of the 10 items that I have to bring are my inhaler and my CPAP machine, I'm not sure it's going to be long. However, remember we talked about jungle cats and house cats earlier. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. I mean, I do have a skill set of shooting guns, I guess. So if it came to hunting and those things, um, yeah, I don't know. What are you thinking? Like, like a week?
Week,
Yeah,
month,
a
few
week
months.
or two. I don't know. I mean,
Wow.
I can only imagine you're providing for your entire family.
Well, yeah, that's why I said personally you
Personally, me.
because because if you really are putting some thought into this and you have to step back and say, okay, well, obviously I I want to protect my family. And in doing that, am I going to make myself vulnerable because do I have people in my family that aren't as self-sufficient as me, or are they more self-sufficient and I'm the weakest link, or whatever that looks like? So, like if you really go down the rabbit hole, I joke around with Tony about this, and I always say, I'm like, you're going to be, you'll be one of the first ones to go. Like, I'm not going to be able to protect you. I will protect you as long as I can, but just you, I don't know how long that's actually going to be knowing you
knowing
in that situation,
knowing what I know.
knowing what I know. Yes. And she's like, yeah,
I
probably.
get it. Yeah.
All right. So you're saying you're going to say a week.
I'll
Is
say
that
a
what
week
you're
to a
landing
month.
on?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Okay.
Because then at
All
some
right.
point, yeah.
All right. Um, Second question. If we could rewind to when you were 20 years old, and I said, Shane, you got to either give up your looks or your sense of humor for the rest of your life. You can only pick one. Which of them would you give up, and why would you give it up?
I think I'd like to say I've never been vain enough to walk into a room and go, all these women probably think I'm super hot. So I don't know that, like in my own self-image or ego, like I've ever really, like personally felt like, yeah, I'm a 10 out of 10 there. But so if I had to give one up or the other, I totally enjoy making people laugh, and
It's a solid choice.
I'd probably hold on to that.
Yeah, solid choice. I got a visitor here.
Yeah,
Hey, go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down.
who's a good boy?
He's a good boy. Get up here real quick. Say hi to Shane.
Hi, this is Jack.
This is Jack. Okay, say hi. Okay, go lay down. Come on, dude. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to edit this out, bro. Go lay down. Get in your bed.
Is it a heated bed?
Like, what's
Is
that?
it a heated bed?
No. He's got the heated house. He doesn't need that. But your choice is good. I mean, 99% of the people on here have taken their sense of humor. And quite frankly, I always say this, Father Time is undefeated when it comes to looks. So you can hang on to that sense of humor. It'll get you a little further anyways.
Yeah. And furthermore, I've met some really dry people with no personalities, and they go to the bottom of the list. So
you're like, I want them to be gone day one on the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Put a bell around their belt.
Shane, who in a movie about your life, who would play you?
Oh, I don't. Does he have to be a movie star? Can he be a TV personality?
It's the question to you. You can say whomever you want.
I've been told numerous times, are you Rick from Pawn Stars?
Okay.
And I go,
I can see it.
No. But then I pull up some of the pictures and I go, oh, I guess I kind of see that now. I mean, it's not exactly like looking in a mirror, but if you see the show once a week and I walk into the gas station, they go, it's Rick from Pawn Stars. And I go, it's not Rick from Pawn Stars. I just want some Miller Lite. Okay.
So that's who you'd want.
I think that's who I'd choose. Is he still? Was he in trouble?
He's alive.
Was his son in trouble? Plumley, maybe.
I think
it doesn't matter.
Chumley. That's not his son. That was one of his workers. But I don't even think that show's been on for a while. It's just reruns, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's like, $20 is the best I can do. All right, Rick from Pawn Stars. Interesting choice. You're in your late 40s.
Yeah.
Ish, right?
77. Born in 77. So this March here, the 15th. Yep. Math. 49.
49.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're 48 right now. I was right on my guess. What's one thing 48-year-old Shane would tell his 22-year-old self if you could go back and give him some advice?
Oosh. You know what? I just told my son this. So
yeah,
I don't know if it counts the same, but save for the future earlier. Like if I knew now what I know about compounding interest and all those things, I would have been putting money away in my 20s instead of, I mean, not like we had a ton of money to put away, but
right.
Yeah, now you're getting towards the end of your career and you're trying to play in catch up, and like it's not going to compound the same as if I did it 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
yeah, even if it's 5% or whatever it is, start putting something away. And I wish I would have known that. And people probably told me that. And I was probably like,
yeah, I'm sure they.
Yeah, whatever. I'm going to do my own thing.
You're like, you're 45. What do you freaking know about life? I'm 22 and I got the world by the balls, man. I know what I'm doing. Whatever you did to get to where you're at, you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm Shane and I'm 22.
Yeah. What do you got to show for it?
I think
boats and
Yeah.
vacation houses, and yeah.
Uh, Here's another thought-provoking one. What, you said earlier that you're a dad of three. What's your favorite thing about being a dad?
I think
You
those.
thought it was all just going to be a bunch of silly ridiculousness, but see, I try to really scratch at the heart of my guests
Yeah,
with some of these
I
questions.
think those moments of like being proud of them, like you don't necessarily like you can be across the room, like I mean, or whatever, but they do something that's thoughtful or courteous, or you like that I can say I might have passed that on to them, like he held that door open for that old lady walking in, or whatever. They said thank you, or said sir or ma'am, or any of those things that I feel like that's kind of how I live my life. Um, yeah, polite and respectful and courteous. I don't know, but yeah, when
Yeah.
you see them doing some of those same things that you felt maybe you modeled into them, I don't know. I like that.
Yeah, I think I liken your answer to, especially when you're a young parent, right? And you're trying to figure it out.
Oh,
And then obviously your children are older now, but uh, the same with me. When you're young, you're just like, all right, how do I do this? And as you grow as a parent, and I don't know if you ever had these moments, but I had moments like this where I'm like, man, I think I'm doing the right thing, but I'm not ever really going to know until I see my kids do it in action.
yeah. I
And that's, and to your point, where you're like, you see it and you're like, okay, uh,
maybe I rubbed off on them
everything's
a
going to
little
be
bit.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I made
Like
plenty of mistakes
they,
along the way. Parent Magazine never called me for an interview.
same here, man.
Yeah,
Same here.
I remember.
Yeah. Well, I don't think any parent, I mean, as a parent, you have to figure it out and learn how to do it, which is why, your first kid is kind of like your test. Your second and third kids, you're like, okay, I know a little bit more about this, but then they have a completely different
Absolutely.
personality so you're like, then you have to still figure it out.
When my oldest,
But yeah.
I probably told you this story before. When my oldest was two, uh, he was throwing a huge fit, and it was bedtime, and I was like, okay, like we're done with this, and we're gonna go to bed. And he's throwing a huge fit, so I took him down and I sat him on the basement steps, like door open, lights on, and he was like still throwing the fit, getting up, and I was like, sit down, and he wouldn't do it, so I shut the door, lights on, shut the door, and he's pounding on the door and everything else, and I was like, you're in timeout until you can behave, and we're going to bed. Kicking the door, everything else. So I opened the door up, turned the light off, shut the door again, and then he lost his
You sure you want to tell this
yeah,
story?
then he lost his mind. He was fine. Then he lost his mind and has slept with a nightlight on for a long time. I don't know that
Still
he does
does.
anymore, but yeah.
He's like, he was fine. It's
Yeah. My battery light just went on my computer too.
all right. We're almost
Yeah.
we're almost done. Just a couple more questions. Well, actually, one more question for sure. I started asking this question. So, for $50 million, do you think you could do the following? So, in a 24-hour period, you have to do the following things. If you complete all these tasks at the end of 24 hours, you wake up, you end up having $50 million, 50
50.
million dollars put into your account. So you got to run 10 miles, you got to drink 24 beers, and you got to eat 24 tacos. So before you just say, oh, yeah, I could do it, I want you to really think about it. Think about running 10 miles and having to drink 24 beers and eat 24 tacos in a 24-hour period. 49-year-old or your 48-year-old Shane, you're not 25-year-old Shane. Really? Because the question, it's not a real question. So the natural response is, yeah, I could do it. I could do that for $50 million. Really ask yourself and then answer.
I mean, I'm not breaking any land speed records running. I mean, it might be a trot, but you at a very slow pace, you can walk 3 miles on an average pace. What 4 miles an hour is your 3 to 4 miles would be your average walk. So you could have that done in 3 hours,
Okay.
right? I mean, even if you fast walked it, so 3 hours
Yeah,
that
you
leaves you
could.
21 hours to drink a case of beer and eat 24 tacos.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So, so I love the thought you put into it. So it sounds like what you're saying is you would get the run out of the way first.
I'm not going to eat a bunch of tacos and drink a bunch of beer and then go run 10 miles.
Well, I say that because I asked your brother this question, and you know how he likes to overanalyze things sometimes, maybe we'll just say. And he's like, "Oh, well," and he said, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so I'd probably like run 3 miles, take a break, drink some beers, have some tacos." I think that's what he said, but I know he broke the run up. Okay, and I was like, "No, you don't." I'm like, "You would do that?" I think you got to get the run out of the way in the beginning. And he's like, "Well, you didn't say that in your text." I'm like, "Yeah, it's right in the text. It didn't say you had to do it one way or the other. Like, I'm saying strategically, you got to do the run first, right?" And he's like, "Oh, wait, I guess that." Then he said something to the effect of, "I think I'd run and maybe even have a couple beers while I'm running and a couple tacos, and then maybe take a 6 hour nap afterwards and then wake up and get to it." I was like,
I don't know, bro.
I think the 6 hour nap, I think if you do that, you're done. I think if you take any naps, you're done. You gotta,
I
you,
think unless you take a Pepsi before you're eating a bunch of tacos and drinking beers, that you're going to be burping that up the whole way when you're running. It's just going to be all rumbly
like
in your
run.
belly.
Well, and I had this conversation with another guest. I also think, and I think timing wise, I think you're better timing wise and time of year. I think you're better off in the summertime, like in a July, and you get up at midnight, and that's when you do the run when it's cool, a little cooler
Yeah.
out. That way, during the day when you're drinking, because you can pick the beer too, which most people would probably pick a light beer. During the day when it's hot, you don't feel like you're just sitting there with a bunch of beer in your stomach. You're probably sweating while you're drinking, which means it starts to. So there's more strategy to this than just yeah, I can do it. I
Maybe,
think you got to be tactical about it.
maybe for your party the night before, that's how it should start.
Actually, that's not a terrible idea.
Huh? Don't say no. Just
Not
think
a
about it.
terrible idea. Well, is someone offering me
Well,
$50 million?
no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so you'd have to, everybody throws in $50, winner gets the pot.
$50.
You got to bring your own taco meat and your own beer. Starts at
You
midnight.
got to bring BYOTM.
Yeah.
Bring your own taco meat.
Yeah. Starts at
That's an
midnight.
interesting concept.
And just see who wins.
How do you stay up that long?
Well, you could take your
Well,
trav nap if you want.
yeah, six. I wouldn't want to take a nap. I would just be like, you got to push through. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Look, there's a lot of scenarios, there's a lot of angles to look at this. So, well, hey,
I
look,
can't count the number of times I've eaten like a 10-pack of tacos from Taco Bell.
well, yeah, and we're talking about like just the basic hard shell
Yeah.
taco. Nothing,
Not
nothing
from La
fancy.
Bamba
And I
in
mean,
Columbus.
you could double it. Like you could do two at a time
Easy.
because those smaller ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's honestly, I think the beer is the toughest part. The beer coupled with the tacos.
Yeah.
But the tacos, I think, are easier because you can spread those out. The beers you could get behind on. Like the beer is what you have to be, I think, can sit like, okay, here's how much time I have left. I need to drink this many beers, preferably more per hour early on.
Yeah, I mean, in 12, like, I don't think this is going to sound so horrible. But like, drinking a beer in 20 minutes is that outlandish.
Yeah, but remember, it starts to catch up with you, man.
It does.
I mean, it's not like it's just.
It does, but I'm thinking that'd be
again,
three an hour, and then that'd be 8 hours. I mean, and that's like a steady pace. I don't disagree, but even if you did one every half hour, that'd be 12 hours, or that'd be 12 hours you'd have a cake.
I think we may have to actually. You're right. We might have to actually do a trial run of this
Yeah.
to see how feasible it is. So
I'll start stretching. The run part is I would be more apt to be able to do the taco and beer part than I would run 10 miles.
well, yeah, that's the whole point.
Let's make it
No,
a like a triathlete. It'd be like an Olympics. Like you run 2 or 3 miles, you bike a mile or two, and then you have to swim at your lake, and then do the tacos.
I
and
think
beer.
that makes it even harder.
I know.
It makes it even harder.
I would be easier to do that than running 10 miles in a row.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. Look, when you ask this question, it's just like it's starting to take on a whole new idea because we're breaking it down.
Yeah, this is not a
Yeah.
running body.
Well, that's why it would be tough for you.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, nope, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to do a triathlon.
Yeah.
No. Interesting.
Okay.
Well, look, my friend, that's those are all the questions I have, and we're up against it right now. So, but this has been fun.
I've had a blast.
I've appreciated. Yeah, I'm glad you have. I have too. I've appreciated the humor, the stories.
Much love to Trav and Sean and people with ADA.
Much love to all of them.
Everybody.
And honestly, I wanted to really I really wanted to make fun of Travis more, but we got talking about some different topics. But maybe that's a reason to have you back on. Maybe you come on and he comes on as well. Maybe that'll be like the shove
icebreaker
to come on here. So
yeah.
But I appreciate you. I'm actually going to see you in like 4 or 5 days for the confirmation.
Yep.
So, but appreciate you, man.
All right, buddy.
And thanks everyone for listening. Bye.
See ya.
Get off my lawn. Don't turn around in my driveway. And don't drive slow if you're in the left lane. Scooby-Doo-bop-bop-a-deep-a-doop-bop-bop. Surrounded by real